Good morning, students. Today is 6th of August, and we are here to learn something about economics. All right. In economics, today we'll deal something about consumers' equilibrium. All right. So, students, see, in this pandemic, we have suffered a lot, isn't it? So, in order to regain our economy, we need to understand our economy very precisely, isn't it? So students, let us learn about the consumer's equilibrium. With the help of consumer's equilibrium, how the economy could be boosted, isn't it? So students, tell me, this is a packet of Maggie, isn't it? Everybody knows it's a packet of Maggie and it costs rupees 10 in the market, isn't it? Inclusive of all taxes, isn't it? Inclusive of all taxes, it cost rupees 10, isn't it? The price of Maggie is 10 rupees, isn't it? Now students, what if a seller, isn't it, a seller sells you in this Maggie at the rate of 13 rupees? I guess you will not buy, isn't it? Because if you are a rational consumer, you won't go off 10 rupees Maggie 10 rupees Maggie towards uh, 13 rupees, isn't it? 13 rupees, because a rational consumer thinks and understands what is the difference, isn't it? What is the difference between the prices, isn't it, and the satisfaction he is getting. Now students, let us understand. If there is a pen, all right, if there is a pen which cost 10 rupees, that is in our hills or in our market, this is a Celomex writer, isn't it? This Celomex writer costs 10 rupees, everybody knows, isn't it, at the rate of 10. Now it runs, as per the company's instructions, it runs 5 kilometer approximately. Approximately it runs 5 kilometer, isn't it? Now students, what if you are getting the same at the same rate? See, this is Celomex writer, all right, Celomex writer. Now at the rate of 10, this pen, this Renault pen or Luxor pen, you are getting at the rate of 10 and it's running 5.5 kilometer, isn't it? Then of course you'll choose this one, isn't it? Instead of choosing this Celomex writer, which is costing 10 rupees and it's running off 5 kilometer, isn't it? And this Renault or the Luxor pen is running 5.5 kilometer, that is Renault pen. Of course you'll choose this, isn't it? Why? Because you are a rational consumer and you know. See here, it's running 5 kilometer, the price is same, isn't it? The price is same, and here it's running 0.5 kilometer more, isn't it? So to maximize your satisfaction, you would prefer this Renault pen or Luxor pen, isn't it? So a rational consumer is someone who maximizes satisfaction, isn't it? Maximizes satisfaction. Maximizes satisfaction, isn't it? In order to be competitive in a market, seller used to sell at various prices, but as a consumer, we will focus morely on consumer only. All right. So now you are a consumer, isn't it? Now, and you are buying goods, isn't it? Now, who is a consumer and what is a consumer? We will learn that, all right, before going into the depth, of the story of consumer's equilibrium, all right, we will learn who can be called as a consumer, all right. So a consumer is a person. Consumer is a person who buys goods and services in order to satisfy their wants, isn't it? A consumer is a person who buys goods or services in order to satisfy their wants. All right. The objectives of consumer is to get maximum satisfaction, isn't it? As I said, this pen is giving you more satisfaction as compared to this pen, isn't it? At the rate of 10, both are available. But this pen, that is Reynolds pen, is giving you 0.5 kilometer of more run, isn't it? To maximize your satisfaction, you will of course buy this, isn't it? Now, students, the objective of consumer is to get maximum satisfaction from spending his income on various goods and services at given prices, isn't it? So, students, of course, you'll choose the better one, which has better quality at the same rate, isn't it? Now, students, let us go into the depth. All right, let us go into the depth. Now, a consumer is a person who satisfy their wants with the given prices, isn't it? Now, consumer have various choices, isn't it? See, a consumer is said to be in equilibrium. Now, what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is a want satisfying power of a commodity. All right, equilibrium, that means, see, I'll get back to you with that same example. This pen is costing 10 rupees and this pen is also costing 10 rupees, isn't it? So this is running 5.5 kilometer, isn't it? And this pen is running 5 kilometer at the same rate. But what if the price of this, that is Celomex writer, gets reduced by 2 rupees? Now this pen is costing, Celomex writer is costing 10 rupees and this Luxor pen is costing the same price, that is 10 rupees. That is Luxor pen or Reynolds. All right. So students, this is running 5 kilometer. All right. And this is running 5.5 kilometer. Now, as a consumer, you have to see the prices, and not only the prices. All right. You have to see the prices as a rational consumer, but not only the prices, all right, because there is quality checkup also. So students, if you see this cheaper, all right, Cellmax writer reduces its prices by minus 2 rupees, that is it makes 8 rupees, and you're going to market and buying this pen, all right, and you should be able to segregate that reducing 2 rupees is giving equal satisfaction of 0.5 kilometer. Don't get confused, I'm not taking a mathematics class. Say students, here 0.5 extra kilometers, does it giving the same value of rupees 2, that is reduced from Celomex writer? So that should a consumer should be able to segregate, isn't it? A consumer should be able to segregate that this pen is giving more satisfaction. When a person is giving more satisfaction, that place is called consumer's equilibrium. All right. A consumer is said to be in equilibrium when he or she maximizes their satisfaction with given income and prices of the commodity. See, for example, a mason. A mason, a mason is a person who builds our houses, isn't it? Students, you all know? All right. So mason is a person who is working at the rate of 300 per day. All right. And the time is 8 to 4 p.m. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, at the same prices, another mason, mason 1, all right, mason 2 is working at the rate of 300 per day, and he is giving his services from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the differences between their work is none. They work at the same efficiency and both are very skilled person. Now, in order to get more services of the mason, here see, 1 hour differences is there, the prices is same, all right, prices is same, skills are same, their caliber is same, but this person mason 2 is working at 7 a.m. from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and number 1 mason is working from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., isn't it? Now mason 2 is giving 1 hour extra services, isn't it? So if you are a rational consumer, you will of course choose the Mason too, isn't it? So students, this is the differences between selection of goods or the services in order to satisfy your wants, isn't it? To get satisfied. Students, hope you all are getting it. All right, you can leave messages if you don't understand. You can pop up in the comment box. All right, I will let you know a way to pop up. All right, so students, see, now consumers equilibrium could be understood by various methods. That is, one is utility approach, and another one is indifference curve approach. Another one is budget line approach. All right, so students, utility approach. Number two is indifference curve approach. All right, and number three is budget line approach. All right, so students, today we will learn indifference curve. See, we will learn by indifference curve approach. All right, students, we are going to learn consumers equilibrium. All right, we are going to learn consumers equilibrium with the help of indifference curve. All right, we will learn indifference curve, that is consumers equilibrium with the help of indifference curve. All right, so students, what is indifference curve? First, let us understand what is indifference curve. The indifference curve is a tabular presentation of various combination of goods that yield the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. All right, that yields the same level of satisfaction to the consumers. All right, so what is indifference curve? With the help of picture we will understand it. All right, see, students, firstly have a view on it. All right, so if it is visible, I would like to explain here. See, in the first column we have commodity, isn't it? That is A, B, C, D, E, F. That is different bundles of commodity. All right. And in the second column we have commodity Y, that is 16, 11, 7, 4, 2 and 1 simultaneously, isn't it? Now another column has unit of commodity X, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, isn't it? Another column has MRS, that is marginal rate of substitution. XY is equals to delta Y by delta X. Now I will explain you students what is MRS, XY and delta Y and delta X. All right. So students, before going towards the figure, I would like to explain this one in your this board. All right, so students, in combination A, all right, in combination we have 16, isn't it, and a commodity Y. We will consider commodity Y as Chyawanprash. All right, Chyawanprash. All right, Chyawanprash, that is, we use Chyawanprash in the pandemic time to immune our immune system, isn't it? To boost our immune system. And commodity X we will take as Horlicks. All right, Horlicks. All right. So commodity X is Chyawanprash and commodity Y is Chyawanprash and commodity X is Horlicks. All right, don't get confused, students. So bundle of A is giving you 16 number of Y, that is Chyawanprash. All right, and X is 1 spoon. All right, it's spoonful. All right, B, C, D, E and F. All right, we will learn separately. All right, students, see, another combination is 11, 7, 4, 2 and 1, isn't it? Now here the X commodity, that is good X, that is Horlicks, is going serially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, isn't it? These numbers are of spoonful. All right. Here, students, that is MRS. All right. MRS XY, substitution XY is equals to delta Y by delta X. All right. Uh, all right. So students, here this is in economics we call is delta. All right. This triangle is called as delta, and delta means change. All right. Delta always means a change in economics. All right. All right. So MRS, what is MRS? Marginal rate of substitution. MRS is marginal rate of substitution. See students, what is marginal rate of substitution is when you add on additional commodity towards your towards your satisfaction, you get a full, isn't it? For example, see, this is commodity Y, that is Chyawanprash, isn't it? And in my right hand there is commodity X, that is Horlicks. So if you want to consume, I'll go back to MRS, don't worry, all right? If you consume 16 spoonful of Chyawanprash, you are getting 1 spoonful of commodity X, that is Horlicks, isn't it? I'm not promoting any goods, all right? It is just for example of your see student. Why this difference? That is, you can have 16 number of 16 spoonful of Chyawanprash and 16 spoonful of Horlicks also. But in our economies, resources are limited, and indifference choice, and transitivity makes individual to choose rationally, isn't it? Whatever they are in need, they have to consume it, isn't it? And in order to maximize one's consumption, they have to sacrifice another's consumption, isn't it? Because our economy has rare and scarce resources, isn't it? So students, going back to example of 16 spoonful and 1, we will get none, because it is the initial consumption, isn't it? Marginal rate of substitution is none because it is the initial. Example I will give: if you want to have 16 spoonful of Chyawanprash and 1 spoonful of Horlicks, you will not get satisfied because it is the initial one. When you are so hungry, and your favorite food is momo, all right? Your favorite food is momo and you are going to consume it, the first initial piece will give you the more satisfaction, isn't it? The more you keep on adding, the more you keep on eating, less you will get hunger, isn't it? Your hunger gets satisfied with the extra consumption of momos, isn't it? So with the increase of consumption of a commodity, you get satisfied, isn't it? That time your hunger gets decreased, isn't it? Are you getting it? Okay, all right. So the next bundle says 11 spoonful consumption of Chyawanprash will give you 2 spoonful of Horlicks. About how? Now how it happens is that, see here, 16 minus 11 is 5. See, you are sacrificing 5 number of Y as to consume 1 number of X, that is Horlicks, isn't it, students? All right, you are getting 5 extra spoonful of Chyawanprash in order to consume 1 extra commodity of 5. You have to reduce 5 number of good Y in order to consume good X 1 extra. All right. So here 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 spoonful of Chyawanprash is sacrificed in order to consume 1 number of Horlicks. Here 7 minus 4 is 3Y 1x. Similarly, we have 4 minus 2 is 2y to 1x, isn't it? Similarly here, 2 minus 1 is 1y is to 1x, isn't it? So students, you all can see here 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In order to consume more number of commodity X, you have to sacrifice extra additional commodity of good Y. That is, see here, 5 spoonful is sacrificed, 4 spoonful is sacrificed, 3 is sacrificed, 2 spoonful is sacrificed, and 1 is sacrificed here. So see here, when you are consuming 16 spoonful, you are getting X number of, that is, so Horlicks is 1 spoonful. And similarly, when you are reducing this consumption, you are increasing this consumption, isn't it? See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This column is increasing, that is, consumption of Horlicks is increasing as compared to Chyawanprash consumption is decreasing, isn't it? So students, here, what is MRS is here? In order to consume one extra commodity, you have to sacrifice another one. That is marginal rate of substitution, isn't it? And when you are consuming it, you are getting satisfied, isn't it? So students, I explained you about the examples, isn't it? Now, students, tell me, how does indifference curve look? See, this is a map, all right, indifference map. Now, this is indifference schedule, all right, this is indifference schedule. Now, I will explain you what is indifference map. See, students, this is a picture of indifference map. Now, indifference map, what does it says is that, see here we have that I indicates I1 indicates indifference curve 1, indifference curve 2, indifference curve 3, indifference curve 4. All right. So it has different altitude, isn't it? 4 is above, 3 is little down, 2 is little down, and 1 is little down. So initial one is indifference curve 1. Now how it works? All right. See, students. Hope you all are getting it. If you have any queries, you can drop me a message. All right, I will definitely see it, and I will get back to you within short period of time. All right, as early as possible. So students, see here, this is good X. All right, good X, and this is good Y. All right, this is good Y. That is, Y is Chyawanprash. All right, and good X is Horlicks. All right. So students, see, we call it indifference curve. All right, we call it indifference curve. I4, that is higher one. I3 is little lower one. I2 is little lower one, and I1 is the initial one. All right. So what does indifference curve says? Indifference, firstly, we will understand what is indifference schedule. Indifference schedule is a tabular presentation of various combination of two goods. That is, we learned about two goods, that is Horlicks and Chyawanprash. That is indifference schedule. All right. Now, what is indifference curve? Indifference curve is a curve that shows different combination of two goods that yield the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. And indifference curve is downward sloping. All right, so downward sloping, it's downward sloping from up to down, isn't it? And it is convex to the origin. So this is the origin, isn't it? This is the origin, and it is convex to the origin, isn't it? You all can see it's convex to the origin, isn't it? Now students, we will understand some assumptions. Now, how to satisfy their wants, to satisfy the wants of a consumer, every consumer chooses the higher level of indifference curve. Now, we will quickly move on to the assumptions. All right, the assumption is rationality. Number one, rationality, ordinality. All right, rationality, ordinality. Note down while I'm explaining you. Rationality, ordinality, diminishing marginal rate of substitution, transitivity of choice, all right, monotonic preferences, all right. So students, what is it? Rationality. All right. I will write here. Rationality. Please note it down, students. Rationality. All right. Number two is, hope you all are writing it. Ordinality. O-R-D and continues. All right. Ordinality and diminishing marginal rate of substitution. DMRS. All right. Diminishing marginal rate of substitution. All right. Number four is consistency of choice. All right. And number fifth is transitivity of choice. Transitivity of choice. All right. Number six is monotonic preferences. All right. Monotonic preferences. Now, students, what is rationality? Rationality is, I explained you, if you are a rational consumer, you will choose to get more satisfaction, isn't it? You should be able to differentiate between more giving satisfaction commodity or the services. All right. So this is rationality. Ordinality is that you should be able to check its qualities, isn't it? Ordinality at the same period of time, that is, we learned about two panes, isn't it? So you should be able to differentiate its qualities and all right. Number three is DMRS, diminishing marginal rate of substitution. That is, in order to consume one extra commodity, you should be able to sacrifice the another one. If you are not able to sacrifice the another one, you will not be fulfilling the assumptions of indifference curve. That is, you will not be in a equilibrium place. All right. The main aim is to get equilibrium of a consumer with the help of indifference curve. All right. So transitivity of choice, let's see, consistency of choice says that, see, if you are choosing a Celomex writer, you should be able to choose the pens only. Max, you should be able to choose pens only. You are not allowed to choose pencil or the marker. All right. So the consistency of choice should be in equilibrium level. All right. Another one is transitivity of choice. Transitivity of choice is that segregation. You should be transparent enough to choose what goods you want. All right. So monotonic preferences says that see, you should not change your mind. You should be correct with your choices. That is, monotonic is a singular, isn't it? Singular choice should be at this period of time you are demanding you are demanding chowmin, and when chowmin comes, you says no, I want to have thukpa. So it will not have a good uh, a good impact, isn't it? A good impact towards consumer, isn't it? So consumer will not be rational at that time. Now students, what are the features of indifference curve? Well, I will explain. All right. So firstly, it's downward sloping. All right. Downward sloping. We are about to end our chapter. So our indifference curve approach with the which is explaining consumer equilibrium. See, students, firstly, there is downward sloping of indifference curve. I1, I2, I3, indifference curve 4. All right. So it is downward sloping. It is the first feature. The second feature is convex to the origin. It is convex to the origin. This is origin, students, and it is convex. Every curve is convex to the origin, isn't it? Convex. All right. The third one is two curves do not intersect each other. Does it intersecting with each other? Does it becoming like this? It's never. All right. If it does like this, it has different meaning. It violates the assumptions or the properties of indifference curve. All right. So indifference curve never intersects with each other. All right. The last one is higher the indifference curve give you more satisfaction. Now students, see here, this indifference curve here is giving different level of, see, we will morely focus on only the convex part. All right. See here, higher the indifference curve gives you more satisfaction, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, and 4 dash. See, the 4 dash and 4 is the highest indifference curve, that is I4, isn't it? The higher the indifference curve gives you higher satisfaction, isn't it? So the consumer, if the consumer is rational, he or she will consume these bundles, isn't it? That is 4 dash, D, and 4, isn't it? This bundle will be consumed, that is good Y, that is Chyawanprash 4 dash, and 4 number of Horlicks will be consumed by the consumer. So that impacts the features of indifference curve. So students, today we learned about consumers, or who is consumers, what is consumer equilibrium to get satisfied, isn't it? We also learned about the meaning of equilibrium. Equilibrium is a one satisfying power, and indifference curve schedule we understood by this figure. All right, we also understood by this figure. All right, we understood indifference schedule with the help of this figure, isn't it? This tabular presentation, isn't it? We also understand what is indifference map. See, indifference map is this. If you draw only, if you draw, see here, if you draw this one, that is indifference curve, that is indifference curve, isn't it? This we can call it as indifference curve schedule. All right, now the same indifference curve, if you plot in a maximumly, I2, all right, I3, see, the more number of indifference curve will explain about indifference map. All right, so more than one indifference curve is there, that time we will call it indifference map. All right, so students, we all learned about in consumers equilibrium with the help of indifference curve approach. Hope you all understood. If you have any queries, let me know via messages. All right, I'll give you my contact number. All right, so for your home assignments, please note down. Uh, see, you have to write 3 assumptions of indifference curve, and you have to explain it also. All right, and another thing, you have to say that any properties of indifference curve. See, features and properties are different. I let you know. I make you understand, and please go through your book, that is of Saraswati publication, that is Introduction to Economics of class 11. Please go through it. We have consumers equilibrium, and in the section of indifference curve, you will get more ideas of it. All right, so please do your homework and bring it in the next class, students. All right, before starting the next class, I will ask you the questions. All right, is that okay with you all? So students, you learned consumers equilibrium with the help of indifference curve approach by Santosh Kumar Thakur of Sikkim Government B.ed College, Soreng. All right, I am a student trainee. All right, in the starting class, I started about my introductions, and quickly I began with my classes. So students, it was happy teaching you all. Hope you all understood, and we'll see each other in the next class. Thank you very much.